Welcome to Squirrel Trails. I'm David.
And I'm Al. I've got 4 articles, but 2 stories that we're going to talk about tonight. One where data's been found, and another where, unfortunately, it wasn't.
So let's head off on a squirrel trail. So Al, what'd you bring for us today?
I've got 2 stories that we're going to be talking about. The first story is really where some people have done some kind of dumb things, and it's a good way to introduce the concept of you might want to be careful about what you do. David, what's the most dangerous prompt you can see when you're at a screen?
For me, it's that you've got a virus. Click here to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, but in general, it's are you sure? Should you press the button when it says are you sure?
Of course, always.
Yeah, this is what we know as the happy clicker.
Yeah.
When in doubt, press it, because after all, what bad things could happen?
What could go wrong?
I can't move forward. Press no.
Yeah, good point. So as Stephen commented, you can't move forward if you don't press yes to move on. The problem is, were you really sure? In this case, should they have been?
Well, let's talk about it.
Okay. So here's a guy running an email server years and years ago. And one of the things that they used to solve when they had a problem with running it is if a user account got kind of locked up, and it happened frequently, they would just delete a portion of that user account. So it would clean up what was kind of a corrupted area. And it became kind of a normal process to solve that kind of an issue. So the account would get locked up, and then the admin would go in and delete the user account. Well, what happens when you do that frequently enough?
You probably have a lot of missing data or data that's there but shouldn't be there.
Yeah, but think about the habit that you're forming. So if you think about it, we've taught ourselves to answer yes to that question. David, without thinking. Because that's what you just mentioned that you do.
Okay.
You don't think about it.
Nope.
You just press.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, Mom's the same way.
I agree to that.
It's just when in doubt, press it. So what ends up happening when you have that kind of a situation where the right answer is always to press delete, and are you sure? Well, of course you're sure. So you press the button. Well, in this case, what ended up happening was they didn't delete just that particular portion of the account. They deleted the vice president's entire account.
Oh, that's like when I grab a folder and click, get rid of folder, delete. Oh, what was
Well,
in
you get a
that?
backup copy, of course, of all this stuff, right?
It's funny you should mention that. It's actually cute that you thought they were making backups too.
Backups?
Because nobody
What's
makes
that?
backups. Yeah, back then, yeah, not so much. So what was actually happening is they were replacing some of the server stuff at the same time. So the benefit of it being deleted, the vice president just assumed it was done by the server guys. So
Well, who was doing it?
well, so actually it was the email admin, young clerk, who had
Okay.
pressed delete, and he didn't tell anybody. So because it got covered. So
Was he supposed
How
to
do you
be?
cover that?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you cover that? Okay, so here's the deal. He's there. He presses delete. He sees what happens. He's trying to recover it and realizes, nope, not going to happen. So they
Pulled a me.
Yeah, so pull you. So he ends up reestablishing a new account for the vice president. Unfortunately, there's no email in it, so the vice president is just a little miffed. But because he doesn't know why it happened, and nobody figured it out, this guy's boss just assumed it was a part of the conversion.
It's the same thing that happens when a security guard deletes some data off of the access card.
Yep.
Huh. We're gonna delete that one. Oh, I clicked the one above it. Then the person comes down, says, my card's not working. Oh, it must be a bad card. Here, it'll be a new card. What's your access? There you go.
This is actually there's actually a
Problem
technical,
solved.
there's a technical term for this. It's called the normalization of deviance. If
Human
you're
beings?
Yes, human beings. Yeah, I'm not going to say we're normally deviant. That would be bad. I I will get in trouble for that.
You know, whole moral philosophy right here.
That's right. But it's actually a concept. As we continue to do bad things, it becomes a normal event. So in this case, the guy ended up deleting the account. He didn't want to get in trouble, so he doesn't say anything. His boss never figures it out. 5 years later.
5 years.
5 years later.
He's much smarter than his boss.
He's much smarter than his boss. 5 years later, over 4 or 5 beers, according to the article. By the way, this was on the register.com.
But is it years or beers?
Well, beers.
Beers.
But it was 4 years. It was 5 years later. But over 4 or 5 beers one evening, he fessed up to his boss about what had happened.
So you never drink at work?
That's
Why you don't drink at your boss.
Yeah.
So he ended up. His boss somehow didn't see the humor in the event. I'm not quite sure what
Yeah.
happened.
I don't know.
So, by the way, I'm talking as much to Stephen as I am to anybody else. So-
Ouch.
so, no, just because it's an angle thing. But anyway, so the reality is it working?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay. So the situation here is one really where, you know, if you're used to doing something like not telling the truth in this case and fessing up, or just pressing yes to are you sure, once people have been taught that ingrained habit, they're going to keep doing it. So what are the other things that we do just by habit that are probably bad?
I was going to say on a related note, I mean, so it's like the app that I download for a game. It says, I need access to your call logs. Sure, why not? I need access to your memory storage. Well, of course. So I have to hit yes.
And so you always hit yes. Now let's ask the question. Have you ever read one line of that document?
Only
Right.
one, and then I went to sleep.
I actually, yeah, it does. Yes. Do you agree to these terms?
Then
Yeah.
First line's easy.
First
First line's easy. Yeah.
Okay. So have you read the second line?
So, could this be a symptom? Could this termed agreement for a lot of phones, for apps, could this be a symptom of?
Actually, it is. It's an exact symptom of the same thing. We have normalized the concept to say, yes, we're just not going to read that stuff because it's long, it's painful, it's confusing. How many of you out there have actually read a contract that you've signed? What have you agreed to? You don't know. You've just signed the darn thing.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. Now, I read mine,
Well, yeah, but you're a little,
anal.
a little bit.
So, and that's been pointed out to me by my boss, several of my bosses. But it is the case that, you know, it is something that you want to do to see what have you actually agreed to. So if you actually read the limits, we won't even get into the privacy statements. Those are painful. Even I am challenged to read those things. But just, what have you agreed to let your phone have? You know, you don't even look anymore. If the phone asks for those things, you're just granting it. Now, the more interesting...
Well, so pause right here, yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
Do the break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, way off scroll trails.
Yeah.
No, that's not. You keep doing it. I just wanted to make sure.
No. We need to come back to what
Pause.
we went down a whole pipeline of.
I'll go wherever you're going.
Because thinking in my head, I'm going, okay, so if I say no, I can't play the game.
Right.
I want to play the game. I hit yes. So do I care what's being said, or do I care what's being taken?
Okay, so let's go back to that.
Is that part? Is this somewhere?
Yeah, we can work back into that. Because that's actually where I'm going next.
Okay, that's kind of
Okay. So on your phone, you have all sorts of things when you load an app. It asks you what you're going to do. Access to your phone, access to storage, access to the network, access to your contacts, access to your firstborn. All of that is there on your phone.
Yep.
And it's asking for those things. Why would you ever say yes? So help me understand this.
Why wouldn't I say yes? If I want to play the game,
Right.
I'm gonna hit yes. If I'm not gonna play the game, then I'll say no.
So what else is on your phone?
Well, everything else, my entire life.
Your entire
What
life
is
is
not
your
on my phone?
I have
That's
one-
the question.
I have a more interesting question that we can't go into, and that is, why should you even trust what it's asking to access? Is it accessing things it hasn't told you about? But that's for a topic another time.
To be honest, I want to play my game. I don't care.
And there is the challenge of the electronic industry. at the end of the day, we all want to play our game, we all want to run what's happening, and we all trust the vendor. So if you're buying something, so let's say you're in the technology industry, and you're wanting to buy a product, how do you know if the vendor has lied to you?
Well, they promise not to do evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, not going down there. I
That was softball pitch.
It was, but there's a grenade in that ball.
There is a grenade in that ball.
So,
That's
not much in that one. I was like,
and then off to Congress.
It was an immediate, and they lied, but God, they got a lot of attorneys.
Oh yeah. Let's go to Congress with that.
So, oh, wow.
Wow. Woohoo! Squirrel trail.
So, that actually was good, though, Steve. That was good.
I might keep that in.
So that actually was good because we all. So, and the right answer to that question is, what did their attorneys say? Because at the end of the day, I don't want anybody butts it.
No, and I don't have enough attorneys either.
Right. So, so here's the real deal. When you're buying any kind of product, whether it be on your phone or anything else, how do you know if the vendor lied to you?
Because I bought the product.
Pretty much that's the case.
Oh, they're army recruiters.
You're not a recruiter. All right, and yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. I've got 27 years in the Army, so I've been lied to several times.
How many times did you sign that contract?
A lot.
A lot.
So.
And you write it each time? Yeah.
Actually.
That's what I thought.
Busted. So anyway. All right. So that is the real key, and that's part of normalization of deviance. So we're actually taught to do something, and we keep doing it. And when we don't think it's bad the first few times we do it, we know we should read that. We know we should think about it, but we do it often enough. Okay, I'm assuming you've ever read it, but at any rate, we do it often enough. We're just going to keep doing bad things. We're just going to continue to say it's okay. So that really goes to that first article, which is the most scary thing you can ever read on a computer screen is, "Are you sure?" Because likely you're not even reading it when you press yes. So yes, the computer thinks you're sure. You probably weren't, and all the data gets deleted.
And happy trails. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Take care.